So, here we are. It is a new day for the channel. Anamorphic, widescreen, autofocus. Pretty damn amazing. Yeah, we're vlogging in anamorphic. Seems like a rather silly proposition, but that was part of my decision in ordering this lens. I wanted something wide enough that I could hand hold and still have autofocus. The ravens have found me. So this morning I was woken to the sound of geese flying overhead. Pine siskins at the bird feeders. Chipmunks are awake. All the animals know that spring is here. The sun actually has warmth to it. Adventures. Adventures are coming. Can feel it. The ground will be unthawed here in a couple of weeks. The lakes, within a month. We're going to be out fishing, camping, metal detecting. And I can't wait. All of your old favorite westerns or sci-fi movies, they were shot with these lenses. You get the nice flare that shoots across the screen. Again, that's a characteristic of these anamorphic lenses. The out of focus background highlights are going to be oval, and they're going to be higher, taller than they are wide. They're not going to be round. Just nice characteristics that you don't even notice that are in some of your favorite movies. And I think I made the right choice in getting this lens because, as I say, it is right at the limit of what our gimbal can handle, and it is right at the limit of as far as my arm will extend. So if we get any heavier of a lens, I wouldn't be able to do this with it. Now I am toying with the idea of picking up a 50mm anamorphic as well, because you should have a wide angle, then you should have a medium. I don't think we need a telephoto in anamorphic for the things that I do. But if Blazar would be so kind as to send me one of their 50mm, I would take it in a heartbeat. We wouldn't be able to use it on the gimbal, but we could set it up on a tripod and do all our static shots. I guess I could always buy a heavier gimbal, but that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do here, which is create cinematic movies as a one-man show. And that requires that I'm in the show because I don't have any talent that works for me. I am the talent, as much as I don't want to be, guys. Trust me, I have to do everything. Direct, star, edit, I do it all. Ravens are just going crazy again today. It must be a spring thing. I showed you guys earlier in the week that we can take some of our old lenses and fake anamorphic. And I think if we combine this lens with some of the nice old 1950s lenses that I have, the manual focus, I think we're going to do well. I'm going to try incorporating more storytelling into some of the videos. Anybody making videos is telling a story. And this is just another great tool that we can use to tell our story. So, as many of you know, I shoot the ZV-E1, the Sony vlogging camera, but it's a very high-end camera. It's almost the replacement to the A7S III, I would say. There are better features on this camera. And I shoot APS-C lenses. So even though this is a full-frame camera, I use a Samyang 12mm, which is our normal go-to lens, which allows us to be wide enough and focus close enough that I can walk around and do this with it. But what I have to do with that lens is zoom in the camera. Every time I turn it on, I have to zoom in a little bit, otherwise you get black corners. And right now, if you guys will notice, it's hard to notice here in the swamp, but I'll put some light up in the top corner, right up there. You'll notice that there are no black corners. We are not zoomed in. So even though this lens is an APS-C lens, it does cover the full frame. And I'll zoom in just to show you that we are not zoomed in. As you can see, we are still zooming in right there, right now. And that's 5 times zoom right there. So, and if I zoom all the way back out, right there, we are zoomed all the way out, you still don't see any black up in any of the corners, but I'm just using that one as an example because there's a bit of a light in the trees up there. So I know many of you don't care, but if anyone is watching this just to see what this lens looks like in real use, I think there's only about 5 people who did a review on this lens. I know because I watched all 5 videos. I want to say it is, for under $1,000, it's a pretty amazing damn lens. But I also did notice that even though the motor is very silent on this lens, you will hear a little tiny bit of motor noise as it's focusing when the background is silent. So it's not 100% silent. I'd say it's like 97% silent. You will hear, and that's because I'm recording with the onboard microphone. This interruption brought to you by helicopters. Not sure what they're doing out here, what they're looking for. But it's been 10 minutes I've been waiting for them to go and they're not. They're circling back there, so. Maybe doing a military exercise? I don't know. Ooh, look at that cool flare. I'm just trying to see all of the cool things that happen with this lens as I'm using it for the first time. It's got a 77mm filter thread on the front, so we've got our ND filter on there. Sirui has to get props for bringing such a light, affordable lens to filmmakers like myself, who, you know, many people would laugh and say, oh, you're vlogging with an anamorphic lens. Yeah, you know what? We can, and I'm going to. There's nothing wrong with vlogging with an anamorphic lens. And we're going to do many other things with it as well. It's all about inspiring creativity. And I think this lens does that for me. It's just inspiring me to tell stories and use this lens to do it. And maybe I should dedicate a whole series this year to anamorphic stories. I don't know, something. You guys are going to see a lot more of this lens on the channel. It may even become my go-to lens instead of the 12mm Samyang. That is a pretty good lens though for what we do. Oh, a raven has landed right above me here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the first walk with the new anamorphic lens. I know I did. There's a lot more stuff to film with this and many adventures to be had, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Jeez, between the ravens and the pileated woodpecker, I can't get a word in edgewise today.